The winner of the $75,000 2012 Gordon E. Moore Award in the category of Medicine and Health
I was just shocked. I couldn't catch my breath. Like, I was like screaming so loud and like just yelling, and I just don't remember the sounds I was making. It was kind of a blur. And going up to the stage was this very surreal moment. Like, I kind of like blacked out at one point, I think. I was like, how did I end up on this stage? What? And then they give me my award, and I'm surprised I didn't get confetti in my mouth, because then it starts falling. My mouth's just like wide open, because I'm like still like, I can't believe it. It wasn't a cute cry, it was an ugly cry. It's a one-of-a-kind experience. You enter into this new kind of world that I didn't even know kind of existed. I got to go to the White House. I got profiled by like 60 Minutes and like ABC World News with Diane Sawyer.
Explain to the good people what your invention did.
So essentially what I created was a new way to detect pancreatic, ovarian, and lung cancer, and it costs 3 cents and it takes 5 minutes to run. It's just like crazy, the amount of exposure, but also the kind of platform it gives you to like really kick off your research is incredible. You can think of it as the Olympics of science fair. Winning will change your life in ways that you don't even comprehend.
The first national science competition was held in America in 1942. Fairs gained popularity during the 1950s and 60s as the country turned to science to overcome the great challenges of the era.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. And liftoff.
Today, more than 7 million students worldwide compete in science competitions. 1,700 will qualify for the International Science and Engineering Fair. But only one will win. This documentary follows students from around the world on their quest to be named Best in Fair.
DuPont Manual is a name that strikes fear and disgust in the hearts of a lot of other schools. Other kids know that Manual has some of the most bright and brilliant students when it comes to science research. So by default, science fair becomes this huge deal to everyone in the school.
So what was your project?
We made batteries with carbon dating.
Okay, and you're now in what category?
We're in materials category.
That's where you should be.
Manual is by far the best school in terms of academics in Kentucky. We kind of really push for science fair, and it's super, super competitive.
Because there are so many rewards that can be gained from science fair, it becomes this huge competitive race. My mom always describes it as one of those tanks with the crabs or the lobsters when each one is trying to climb out of the cage, but the others are all trying to pull it down so it can get to the top. So this is my bedroom. This photo is from Governor's Cup State when I was in 8th grade. We lost that year, so in the picture I'm crying. I still remember that day. It was so sad because I invested so much time in it, and we got second in the state, so I was really upset. Okay, we went to this national tournament. It was the biggest deal ever, and we got 5th in the country. And this is the tiny little thing that we got? I didn't even know. That is so sad. Oh my gosh. After my freshman year, I was still 13. I had not turned 14 yet, and I decided to take the ACT and I ended up getting a perfect score.
I had her as a freshman. I knew there was something special about this kid, just the way she absorbed everything in the classroom. Now to see her winning competition after competition, that excites me.
I would say that a lot of people are jealous of me. I know that that sounds pretty arrogant, but it's very true. I know plenty of people who are very successful in an academic way and who are also well liked. And I find that those people are boys.
My name is Ryan Foles, and I'm a senior at DuPont Manual High School. So this year, I was going to attach some device I built onto the camera of my phone that stuck a needle inside of some steak that would take a picture of the color of the inside of the steak so that you could see whether or not your steak was done. But that was my idea, and I thought it was really cool. I died, but there's no world impact to health or medicine or helping anyone. Then Harsha came to us with an idea.
The stethoscope is the most essential diagnostic tool in resource-poor settings. Think like rural clinics in Uganda and India. So our project, what we did was we wanted to transform the conventional stethoscope. And so instead of working towards creating a device, we actually are working towards developing a platform for the first holistic stethoscope-based technology to serve these underserved and resource-poor settings.
I decided that the project that Harsha had in mind was just a little bit superior than my meat project.
How much time do we have? 4:28. Let's go through another one. You start.
Last year was the 200th anniversary of the invention of the conventional stethoscope. The conventional stethoscope could,
Okay.
hold on, let me just start over.
Okay.
I'm just having a brain fart here.
We realized that effective auscultation and
We realized that effective auscultation and patient management would be the bottlenecks in the usage of our electronic stethoscope.
Ryan is you definitely, if you didn't know he was from Kentucky, you'd think he was a surfer dude from Southern California. He's also a very, very phenomenal programmer. We told Ryan, where's the app? He's like, okay, I'll get it done in 2 days. And so he got the entire app done in 2 days. That's crazy because that would have taken me 4 months alone.
We focused on the last two processes in this
switch with Abraham.
Using a logistic regression-based... Abraham's focus is machine learning, and me and Harsha don't really know what he does, but it works. What do we have?
10:26, but that was a really presentation.
Yeah. Harsha kind of came in as a more organized person. I think overall he's probably generally more stressed than we are, because we are very relaxed people.
All right, let's do it 3 or 4 more times. Okay.
If you get to know him, he's not just the nerdy dude, that he may come off to be just by his appearance.
Pass it up, Harsha. Pass it up.
All of this is trap. Just blast it up full volume.
I like Fetty, I like Lou, I like Henny, I like Goose, I like lettuce, I like boof, inside jelly, outside juice.
Harsha only listens to trap music. I did not see that coming.
I like lettuce, I like boof, inside jelly, outside juice, I like Fetty.
I was like, why is this so angry? And he was like, dude, this music is just really good.
Yeah, I listen to trap music and classical music. I actually don't listen to classical that much. I just listen to mostly trap.
Yes, I do. I love froze, yes, I do. Camping rose, yes, I do. Yeah.
Around the entire world, there are 130 million people who are exposed to levels of arsenic higher than the EPA's allowable amount. A lot of those people end up developing cancers. I basically built a sensor for arsenic in drinking water that measures arsenic concentrations over time and across locations. An entire community could be sustained off of one of these sensors. This is about catching the problem early.
So you're not going to cure cancer, you're going to prevent cancer.
Yes, exactly.
Making it
to ISEF. And that's like the big thing. You kind of have that status of being in like the group that went to ISEF.
They've got a project that if they can sell it to the judges, it'll go far.
How are you?
Tired.
I'm sorry. Are you translational? Tough category.
I think Anjali is harder on herself now that she's in high school. There's so much competition in her school. People are always saying, you know, who's going to ISEF? Did you get an ISEF spot? Did you win at State Science Fair? Did you win at, you know, there's so much of that.
Every year I get a little bit more nervous. My nerve level goes up a little bit. I think when I was younger I didn't realize that the stakes were as high as they are.
First project to be judged was actually the one right next to mine. And then right before the judges come to me and introduce themselves, I hear one of them say, "We really should start a time limit, shouldn't we?" So they came to my project and they said, "You have 6 minutes, I'm gonna time you, so please just start whenever." I flipped out. I kind of screamed my presentation at them.
The Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry has, for the last 2 decades, consistently ranked arsenic as the #1 most hazardous contaminant in the world.
Right now, we've got the finalist judges going out to determine the top 4 to go to ISEF. A lot of our kids see this as one avenue to open doors into major colleges, and so they would like to be the one that's out there winning.
My research is great. I've built something awesome, but I think somebody else could have built the same thing and presented it poorly.
Solar power pumps the water from Beargrass Creek into
I see so many kids with such fantastic work that just can't get the point across to a judge. I'm a good public speaker. I always have been a good public speaker. I'm an extrovert and I know how to communicate ideas. And I think that that's really why I win.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Test. When we go through the awards, I know there are going to be some hurt feelings. But guys, by getting what you have done this year, you have set yourselves apart from 90% or maybe even better of the students across the nation, across the world. Only 4 people can get it to ISEF. 4 people, guys. Don't take this as a loss. You all are amazing, and please, please, please take it that way. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just give the top. These are the top 4, so that you know who can advance. In physical sciences, the 2 people are Govind Krishna and Emily Liu. In life sciences, you have a team of Ryan Foles, Harsha Paladugu, and Abraham Rita Machine. And Madison Sneef.
When they called our names, I was really glad to hear that, and I hugged him, and it was really great. I think I hugged him a little bit too hard because he said, "Ow, you're hurting me." It was just a really good feeling.
Now, thank you all for coming. That concludes this.
Me not winning at regionals, it's not a big deal.
I'm not upset. People have come up to me and, tell me that they're sorry, but
I'm not sorry. This doesn't reduce my research and it doesn't reduce what I've done at all. So I'm fine.
When I lose, that keeps me grounded. It helps me realize I am a human. I am like every other person. I'm not a gem. I'm not special. I'm just another kid.
Congrats, guys.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'm so happy for you.
Just the entire build-up, like the reason why we were working so hard on this project was because we wanted to go to ISEF. We wanted to, like, it was our senior year, you know, we get out of school for a week, we got to go meet a bunch of people. It's a really big award. I'm really pleased that they chose me to be one of the projects to go.
This is Brookings High School, and our mascot is the Bobcats. We have 3 gyms, and you can kind of tell, like, by these walls, there's a lot of, like, athletic records, and, like, if you see the trophy case, it's only filled with sports trophies.
How many science research labs do you have here?
We don't have any. We have some classrooms with some lab tables, but that's pretty much it. So that's the weight training center. The school mainly focuses on athletics, but we're not very good at them.
Can you guys talk about your recent record, how you did?
Well, we went 0-9 last year, which is not a good record by any means.
Maybe they need more practice or a new strategy or something. Maybe that's something you can talk to Coach Schmidt about. When I was doing my first science fair project as a high schooler, I realized that I needed someone to act as an official adult supervisor. The science teachers I had then weren't really interested. I asked Coach Schmidt if he was willing to do that.
Defense, offense, we all got to act together tonight.
And he was very, very willing.
All right, get up here. Here we go. I know what she does, and she's explained it to me several times. I'm still not sure how it all works, but she makes it work.
It's like alpha and beta waves. The different sensors pick up brain waves, so you can kind of see like a live play of like how their emotions are changing as they do like the different tasks on the computer. Our school has a pretty bad drug and alcohol problem because in Brookings there's not much to do. I definitely wanted to, explore more about like the underlying risky behavior phenomenon. No, it'll fit. I mean, it fit my dad's head, so it'll fit yours. My project basically focuses on how repeated acts of risky behaviors affects emotions and cognitive functions in adolescents. This is what your brain was looking like while you were doing that. It's pretty cool, right? So basically, the negative emotions that are usually associated with risk-taking, like guilt and fear and stress, gradually become, desensitized and muted with the repeated exposures to different risky environments.
Do you guys know Kashfia?
How do you say her name again?
Kashfia. Do any of you know Kashfia? She placed 3rd internationally in the high school science fair.
Oh, wow.
She's from here.
I'm kind of surprised that she hasn't gotten an announcement over the speakers during announcements every day.
Wait, we really have one of those people here? Yeah. Nice. Why don't I ever get told I'm supposed to do?
Kashfia has little bit low self-esteem. Whenever she feels like that she's not welcome, it hurts her a lot. She said that people don't like her. Maybe she's wearing hijab. Maybe she feels like she's not cool like them. She's not popular like them.
That bothers her sometimes.
That bothers her.
being a minority in so many different ways, you know, being a Muslim, a female, and like Bangladeshi, it's really hard to be as open in expressing myself. Like sometimes like when I go to Walmart, I like feel like I get stared at. I feel like I always have to, you know, be extra nice and smile at people on the streets and like look like I'm very like unharmful. Another thing that was interesting that I found is that there's a disconnection between risk-taking and risk propensity.
As quiet as she seems to be, Kashmir does have a lot to say. I think inside there's a lion. I think she's really ferocious in regards to what she wants to accomplish and what she wants to do in life.
Our first place winner of the Senior Division Behavioral and Social Sciences goes to Kashmir Raman from Brookings. Congratulations.
Hi, my name is... Sorry. Hi, my name is Ivo. I'm from Lorsch, Germany. Lorsch has around 3,500 people and is mainly based on wine, cultivation and tourism because of the River Rhine.
Ivo's love for flying comes from his father. He said, when you ever fly a model, you will be infected for the rest of your life, and it's true.
Also auf dem Bild ist der Ivo hier zu sehen mit seinem Großvater und seinem kleinen Bruder. Ja, und da sieht man, dass er schon mit so kleinem Alter schon ganz begeistert war, das Flugzeug fliegen zu lassen.
Ja, so ein begabtes Kind zu haben, das ist einfach ja, entspannt und schön. Es ist ja sein Traum, in die Luftfahrt einzusteigen.
In my project, I built a flying wing. Was always a little bit interested in uncommon designs. The special concept of the flying wing was developed in the 20s and 30s.
This concept is rather poorly rated by today's engineers because it's unstable in flight and it's hard to maneuver. But Ivo really rethought the whole concept.
He had this very unconventional idea, and not everyone understood it. Even I didn't understand it at all. So we had a lot of discussions, argumented a little bit out the formulas and some graphs, and we said, let's go for it. You calculate it, you build it, you fly it, and we will see.
One important fact, especially airplanes, is to keep everything as simple as possible.
So simpler is better.
Yeah, just keep it simple and stupid.
I think that young people have a very special view on all problems. They have a certain very healthy recklessness. He picked up a concept that is almost 100 years old and really re-engineered things, increasing the stability, increasing maneuverability, and even saving 30% of fuel in flight. What Ivo achieved is quite remarkable.
It was my first time ever to attend a science fair.
It is very hard to qualify for ISAF as a German student. We have 12,000 participants every year, and you need to be a federal award winner to qualify for ISAF.
That's Oscar, huh?
Der Gewinner ist Ivo Zell von der Internatsschule Schloss Hansenberg in Geisenheim.
When I won the national contest, I was very excited and quite happy because I have never expected to even be on a national contest and then to win this prize was very cool.
And can you tell us about your cool sunglasses?
Who cares about the fashion? I'm alone out here normally.
How much is this? This thing only has 256 megs of RAM. That's a fifth of a gigabyte.
Couldn't ever let nobody else have somebody else's computer. We sent them all to Florida on a skid. They go to a prison camp. For them, they tear them apart.
There's still some good stuff in this computer. We'd take something like this home and we'd open it up and see what was inside, seeing if we could actually make something like useful for free. So we were able to use it in like clusters and stuff. So it was fun.
I didn't know he got it. Because if I'd have seen him get him, I would definitely stop him.
Robbie Barrett had him as a freshman and sophomore, had him 2 years in high school. The first year he was in Algebra 2 Honors, and the second year was my trigonometry class. He didn't do homework very much. He thought he knew a lot. He asked me once, "Hey, Mrs. Myers, what do you think about number theory?" I was like, "I don't know. How about we do today's lesson?"
When he was in 9th and 10th grade, his grades were not that great. He just really wasn't that interested in getting schoolwork done. He had other projects that he was working on that he was more interested in.
He was interested in things like taking apart a graphing calculator. So this is the kind of calculator that Robbie had 2 years. And he did all kinds of things on that it wasn't meant to do.
He programmed his calculator to generate Shakespearean insults.
Yep.
And every time you would punch a button, it would generate another insult.
What are Shakespearean insults like?
Oh, well, I remember one that was something like, "Thou art an unwashed puttock." It would say things like that. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was ingenious.
He was a very wonderful child. He really didn't get in that much trouble because when I was their age, we were fighting and drinking and wrecking cars and doing bad things. I wrecked lots of cars all the time. I was always wrecking cars.
Okay, yeah, so this is one of the calculators that I was modding. I got this one to like broadcast like 16-bit music to FM radios. I mean, I learned a lot doing this. I mean, I don't get it, like, you know, my math teacher, she hated me for it. If I were a math teacher, I'd like, you know, that'd be cool. I'd congratulate the kid. So you're doing good things. I'm not very good at doing like very structured, like, you know, math class, like, you know, do these problems or whatever. But science fair is totally different than the normal schoolwork because you can kind of branch out and go wherever you want with the project. I'm really interested in machine creativity, which is like, can a machine like generate original content? You know, can machines make art? So basically, I taught a neural network how to write raps and rhyme them like Kanye West would. So it just basically looked through Kanye West's lyrics like tens and tens and thousands of times. The neural networks like effectively learn like how Kanye like flows and rhymes. A lot of the time it just says like something like really weird, but you don't know if it's just random or if it has like a deeper meaning. Like it says, "I'll touch every curve of your favorite author." I thought that was pretty good.
Is some of it explicit?
Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, it learned after Kanye, you know? So don't think that the machine's like racist or anything, because it's just learning from the data. Basically, we have these algorithms that can like learn. It's called machine learning. But the problem with them is that you can't tell what's going on inside of them. There's no way to see, like, you know, what's a neural network thinking? Why did it come to these conclusions? If you're trying to make something like a self-driving car and you're using neural networks to like detect objects or whatever, and if it misses a stop sign, or if it thinks it sees a stop sign and you don't know why this is happening, I mean, that could be a pretty big problem. So yeah, I mean, I guess the goal of my project is like to solve this aspect of machine learning using more machine learning. Yeah.
Eu sei jogar baralho, eu sei jogar normal, mas eu não vou ali pra mesa e jogo com eles, porque eles jogam apostando. E eu não vou estar apostando meu dinheiro aí, não. Aí o meu pai, que meio que é o líder. Só tem um mês, ela é bem novinha. Anda, 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 vai. Aqui são fotos quando eu era bebê. E nessa eu tinha uns 4. Aí foi quando eu ganhei Miss Ema, que Miss Ema aqui onde eu moro. Iracema é uma cidade bem pequena. Tem aproximadamente 14 a 15 mil habitantes. O meu pai, ele é agricultor. A minha mãe, ela é doméstica.
Primeiramente em Deus, né? Porque é Deus que tem que colocar em primeiro lugar. E segundo, a minha filha. Que eu acredito demais nela, demais mesmo.
Não, precisa não. Então, ó, vamos? Eu piloto na mão. Aqui onde eu moro, eu conheci 2 pessoas que foram notificadas com o Zika vírus. Fiquei um pouco com medo. Não estava preparado, não tínhamos exame. As pessoas não sabiam como lidar com essa doença.
The problem is very serious because we have many children with microcephaly caused by Zika virus. Every child that is born with microcephaly, it represents a burden for the health system that's already incapable of dealing with all the problems.
Então foi nesse momento que eu resolvi trabalhar para poder eu criar uma solução para meio que impedir que essa doença pare e não se espalhe cada vez mais.
All right, quiet everybody. Take one.
Explica o que é o Zika e eu explico o porquê nós trabalhamos com essa doença.
O Zika vírus ele é uma doença transmitida pelo Zika vírus. Não.
O Zika vírus é uma doença transmitida pelo Aedes aegypti, o mesmo transmissor da dengue e da febre chikungunya.
Vai, fala. Eu tô um pouco nervoso.
Por que você não desenha ela? Desenha, menina, é só você ir fazendo. Vai. Então, o mosquito Aedes aegypti vai, pica você. Ele meio que liberam algumas proteínas no organismo do ser humano e faz com que o vírus do Zika vá se multiplicando dentro do seu organismo. Então, nós conseguimos criar um medicamento que conseguiu inibir essa proteína e impedir esse processo. Era no início da pesquisa, muitas pessoas dizendo que a gente não ia conseguir. Teve gente que olhou para o nosso trabalho assim, que ideia maluca, vocês não vão conseguir não. Olha quem vocês são, aluno de escola pública, como é que vocês vão conseguir desenvolver isso?
Os professores, eles não são bem remunerados, então os alunos também não têm um incentivo maior.
A maioria dos nossos alunos é uma planta dentro de um apartamento. Não cresce, devido a essa falta de incentivo.
O que Gabriel e Milena conseguiu para a nossa região é uma coisa muito, assim, difícil.
Quando começaram a anunciar os projetos que iam ser selecionados para a ISEF, todo mundo fica calado.
Então, quando chamou o primeiro, chamou o segundo, chamou o terceiro trabalho, meu coração estava muito acelerado. Aí chamou o quarto, chamou o quinto trabalho, chamou o sexto.
A gente ficou muito preocupado porque a gente não tinha saído o nome do nosso projeto.
Eu pensei, só tem 2 trabalhos. Será possível que eu não vou conseguir realizar o meu sonho? Não. Ai, foi muito emocionante.
Utilização do cálculo newtoniano para a modelagem e análise de novos fármacos derivados de ozônio contra o Zika vírus.
Quando chamou a gente, que falou o nome do nosso trabalho, a nossa única emoção foi gritar. Eu consegui e eu vou estar na ISEF 2017. Eu fiquei muita emoção. É um sonho, velho. É um sonho, um sonho, um sonho. Eu saí, peguei o telefone e liguei pra minha mãe. Não foi, mãe?
You have to be cognizant there's so little time for them to process that anything you do that makes it confusing. What is this section of text about? Is this a definition? I'm gonna be so proud when one of my kids win a Nobel Prize, because they will. One of them will. Why can't you explain why understanding the chromatic number is important instead of defining it?
Dr. McCalla is a very hardworking teacher. Sometimes she works even harder than her students.
No, can you focus, please? Give me the header.
She is strict, she can be scaring, but I actually like her style. It reminds me of my life in China, because the teachers are usually really strict.
So what's happening over there?
We're printing our boards for the competition on Sunday and Monday. And most of them are printing their boards. Some of them just have random questions. Some of them just want to talk. Okay, come. Johnny, I'm really not happy. You know how much time I spent with you? You didn't fix half the stuff on the board. It's written. Did you take a picture? So why didn't you fix it?
I forgot to look at it.
You said what?
I forgot to look at it.
How did you forget to look at it? It's on the paper.
When she hears something she's not pleasant with, she does like a eyebrow thing. It's the look. I don't know. I know.
I expect excellence from them. If I backed down and I wasn't so aggressive and I probably wasn't forcing them to stay here after school with me 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, then we would fail.
Our class, we have 12 kids, almost 100% Asian. Adam is like half, I guess.
So my project was like Monte Carlo simulation.
We see our parents work so hard to try to remain in the country and to support us. I guess we kind of have a little burden, or we feel the responsibility to work hard.
My parents are immigrants too. They came to this country when they were teenagers. I think we have a different mindset because usually if you're migrating from another country to America, you're looking for opportunity. You look at how many of our scientific accomplishments have come from people who are not American born. I mean, we wouldn't have like cars, you know, like batteries. You wouldn't have the simple things in life if it wasn't for people who have migrated to this country and become these people who are changing our way of life. I literally spend 10, 12, 14 hours a day working on this. I don't regret it, but it does hinder my ability to have a life. Getting married, having family, like I don't have time. I don't date. I sacrifice my time. When other schools hear how long I'm working after school, they're like, oh, I'm never gonna do that. So unless they're willing to give up a lot, it's gonna be very difficult for them to beat us. Don't forget what I told you about these, don't lose them. All right, good skills, see you in a bit.
You can smell the anxiety, right? Smells like teenagers wanting to go to ISAF.
I had like the sensation of wanting to throw up before, and now it's no longer a sensation that I'm having.
I am nervous a little bit. I know it's so competitive, specifically on Long Island, because there's so many good schools with good projects, so patiently waiting, or impatiently waiting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to announce those who have earned first place and the opportunity to move on to ISEF. In environmental engineering from Jericho High School, Kendra. From Jericho High School, Arcana Bernard. From Jericho High School.
It's very difficult to have more than 1 or 2 projects from a school make it to the International Science and Engineering Fair.
Stop moving. Be happy. You just won.
But this year is remarkable because we had 9 students make it to ISEF. That's unheard of.
I like it, Shruti, I like it.
Não, eu não vou vestir não lá. Eu já sei que eu não vou vestir.
Pode ser precisar de uma blusinha assim.
Não vou não, mulher. E se eu precisar, eu vou vestir aquela dali, ó.
Pelo menos um vestido.
Tá bom. Partiu Hollywood.
Estou um pouco emocionada, também um pouco preocupada, mas eu estou confiante que vai dar tudo certo. Estou feliz também, né, que é um sonho que ela está realizando, era o maior sonho dela. O sonho demorou, viu?
Vou, tia. Amém. A diferença que eu vejo entre eu e entre os outros alunos que vão representar também o Brasil na ISEF é que, tipo, a grande maioria tiveram uma vida diferente da minha. Eles estudaram em escolas melhores. A maioria moram em capital, em cidade grande. Os pais têm um bom emprego, já participaram de outro evento, eles têm condição. Já eu vejo que eu sou bem diferente.
Of course, good idea can come from anywhere. Iracema is a very poor municipality, in a very poor state, in a very poor region. It just shows that in every place you have intelligent people, what they need is the opportunity.
Ela tem um sonho realmente de sair, de crescer. E eu acredito que se eles ganharem lá, as portas talvez vão se abrir. E ela vai realizar o sonho dela, conseguir, né, sair daqui, arranjar algo melhor. A gente tem essa esperança.
I think it will be quite interesting to see this quite different culture, to meet different people. I was quite excited by this nomination because this will be my first time in the US.
I'm really excited that I'm going to ISEF for a 3rd year. It's one of the best weeks of my life. Like every time I go there, having all these kids that are interested in science and appreciate the kind of work you do, it's a really nice change from how I feel at home.
I mean, I guess I started with Hawaiian shirts because it's about as casual as you can get while still having a collar. I got this one from the internet. There's this online shop that sells like old disasters from the 70s that I really like.
He just wears what he wants, and that's what he wears. And I bought him clothes, and he won't get in them. He likes to wear what he wants. He likes a big flowery shirt, usually.
There is a different standard among computer people, you know?
If I won the big prize, dude, I don't know what I'd do. I really don't. Like, can I have some time to think about that? Like a minute? Obviously, you know, you have like universities and stuff that are like they'd be making deals with each other. Like, oh, he can spend half of his time at Harvard, and then we'll fly him over to Yale for the afternoon.
I think this is 3 years now. The senior class bought it for me. But they know I love Louis Vuitton, so they bought me a Louis Vuitton scarf, and I wear it like at every competition. Everybody says, just going, you've won. That's true. But winning there while you're there is possible too. When they have an opportunity to go to an international competition, they should win.
See you in Los Angeles.
Heading to ISEF, I was not in the best shape in terms of sleep and also health. We had senior prom the night before, so at the after prom party, I was kind of either forced to go to bed and sleep for 2 hours or just to stay up. So it was a little bit rough staying up the entire night. And on top of that, I have Ano. But I had like a really nice pesto panini sandwich on the way there.
Are you having a good time with your sandwich? ISEF and science fairs in general are really notorious for partying. I'm never gonna put myself in a bad situation because I have too much going for me. I have too much to give to the world. If I started doing drugs and other stuff now at age 14, I probably wouldn't make it past age 30, and then how could I give anything back to the world that has given me so much already?
I'm feeling stressed already, nervous, kind of scared.
We're in LA! Yeah, we're in LA!
Olha que vista linda, gente. Olha que vista linda!
Welcome to Los Angeles. This year's competition includes more than 1,700 finalists from 78 countries, regions, and territories around the world. We are so happy you are here. Congratulations and have an amazing week.
We're about to go to the ISEF Student Mixer, which is this dance party.
Se tocar eletrônica, eu vou dançar muito.
Tank top or tropical button up?
I say tank top. It's a good look on you. I've heard from Harsha and other people that usually it's around 200 Indian dudes standing around 2 girls in the middle of the dance floor.
It's very weird to see all the people that made it to the International Science Fair put into one room, and they're all, you know, they're acting like idiots.
Are you excited about the dance?
No.
Okay.
I've actually never been to a school dance, not in middle school or high school, and I'm kind of glad I haven't because I've heard there's a lot of like drama and whatnot that goes down there, so kind of glad I'm out of that scene. But
You're only there for a week, and then you know, the supposed love of your life that you just met at the science fair dance flies back to like Botswana or wherever.
Can you talk about your mono and how that's going?
I guess my mono really hasn't been affecting me that much. I've actually noticed the symptoms decline. I'm not as tired as I was like a few weeks ago. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and diagnose myself for myself and say that I am currently cured of mono. So I don't think that's any more of an issue. All right, I'm Ryan Foles, and we're gonna go meet some ladies.
The better you are at science fair, the worse you are at dancing.
Quite lit to be a science fair party.
May I have your attention, please? Only finalists may enter a booth. Please stay in the aisles and do not enter any of the booths. Thank you.
Medicine and health, medicine and health, medicine and health. Oh, physical science, life science. I didn't even realize that. This half is physical, that half is life. Ugh.
When I first entered the convention center, I was quite impressed how huge everything is. All the European contests were quite smaller.
It's just like this ocean of boards, and there are just so many projects per category. When all the people are like from different places. I mean, some people are dressed in like their traditional outfits, so you can tell that like this is a total worldwide event. Like some of the people here have already won their national fairs, so it's very intimidating.
I love my board. I love my board. I love it so much.
Jericho has 9 projects here. So I figured that we could just have a central location. I don't want to have to run around to all of the stations. When I came to Jericho, my goal was to put us on the map. You only have 1 binder of journals after being in science research for 3 years?
I took like the most pertinent.
No, dude, no. You have to sell yourself. They're selling you, Mike? All that stuff that's in that head? You have to ratchet it up. Make a cover for your binders, put your name on it, your project, sell yourself. Every one of my kids know what they need to do in order to be successful. They understand that we're not gonna allow them not to work to the best of their ability. It has to look the way it will look on Wednesday. I don't know how many times I've said that. Like, you guys thought I was joking? Sometimes I'm strict and sometimes I'm very direct with them and they don't like it. But I want them to know when they're excellent, they will get what they desire. I told you don't put these pictures in there.
Okay,
But I want those pictures. Don't make them not want to look, right, Kendra? Right? Mm-hmm. You just want them to know what you did.
You may not set up your project. You have a form printed with red letters in your booth. Have one of these, please take it with you to your SRC interview.
We are meticulous. The last thing I want to do is to go to an SRC meeting. If they call you to an SRC meeting, unless it's a simple problem, you're probably done.
There's this thing called the Scientific Review Committee, or SRC, and if something on your paperwork looks a bit suspicious, you're flagged.
Our SRC infraction basically states that the review committee wants to ask us some questions about our clinical testing of our device. It's a pretty serious thing. It could mean that you won't be able to present at ISEF if you don't get it resolved by judging day. So.
Just tomorrow, right?
No, Wednesday. Yeah.
Going into an SRC, I would be first mortified, second terrified, to have that anxiety on top of the anxiety of like presenting to all of these like world-renowned PhDs as your judges. I mean, I feel as if that would really throw off your game. If you say the wrong thing, you're disqualified. And if something doesn't check out, you're disqualified. And it's absolutely terrifying.
Can we talk to you on that?
Oh, hi.
Yes.
Nice to meet you all.
So,
Hi.
we're the SRC, if you don't know what that is.
Nice to meet you guys.
Tell me about how you tested the algorithm. And the
The algorithms? So the algorithms we tested on a open database, a completely open source database of over 3,000 heart sounds. We have the paper right here for it if you want to go through it.
What about human testing?
We have not done any clinical or human testing yet. The only heart sounds we have here are from...
I recorded my own heart sounds.
So that we can show them what it sounds like when we use our device.
Well, guess what?
What?
That actually technically needs IRB review and approval.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
So you needed a Form 3. I don't know if you all put a Form 3 together. And
No.
I don't remember seeing it in the paperwork. Because you're checking, you're checking the algorithm, right?
No. Okay, actually,
we did not
let me clarify this. Our project has like a couple different components, and the process where we actually just recorded my heart sound.
Can you grab the paper for it?
Yeah. Was just as a proof of concept to show that when I tested my heart sound.
It picked it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So ultimately, this actually, it's exempt IRB. It's exempt. In our rules this year, it's exempt. Yeah.
So what should the next steps that we do for International Science Fair? Like, do we need to go get a form or any of that?
No.
Okay.
We're going to go do whatever we need to do to get you fine.
Okay, extremely helpful.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Happy so. Anyway, thank you.
We're clear and ready to go. The Scientific Review Committee can't stop us anymore. It's too late, and we're gonna win this.
Okay.
I was, minding my own business, and the science teacher said, Paul, there's a Science Town Search examination coming up. I think maybe you ought to think about taking that. So I said, sure. It was 1942, so we were already in World War II. My essay was entitled, How Science Can Help Win the War.
So it was 1972. I was a senior at Benjamin Cardozo High School in Queens. Now it wouldn't be a big deal to fly from New York City to Washington, D.C., but that was my first plane flight.
I was born actually in Taiwan, and I was in 6th grade when we moved to New York City. The award ceremony was in a big banquet hall, and you had to wear tuxedos. I just remember my sister had a Chinese gown made in Chinatown. That was 1971.
Ever since my very first science fair way back in 6th grade, I would always go on and watch the YouTube videos of when Intel ISEF winners won, and the confetti was falling and everyone was applauding. And so then when it actually happened to me, it was like inconceivable.
At that time, it would give full college scholarship for $2,400. Unbelievable. And that made it possible for me to go to college.
I would credit it really to my mother. She just drilled it into us. My mother was always telling me, "You're going to MIT." She strongly discouraged me from going into art. She said, "You'll starve." When I discovered Caltech, I opted for that just to get away from my sister.
I think the science talent search for my career was a launch. I remember being awed by it all, that so many people were interested and helped me out. It came as a huge, thumping surprise.
Science fair does seem very American. On the one hand, the competitiveness, but the other, just the freedom to create and to express yourself. To me, it's one of the most wonderful institutions in the United States.
Me and my mom, we always like go back and like look at the ISF winners every year. It's always like kind of cool to like see like who's in the club now.
Today, the exhibit hall is only open from 9:30 to 11:30, and only finalists can come in. And it's kind of a time to make some last-minute adjustments on your poster and make sure everything's perfect for judging tomorrow.
Here we have color. Color is not a thing, at least with manual students. It's like the more color you have, the more it's like, I don't think so.
There's a lot of different ways to make a really good board. One year, it was the era of like the tall boards where all the boards were like 12 feet tall and like reached towards the ceiling. Then there was another year where it was the year of the laminates, where everything had to be laminated.
You have bubbles. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because when the lights come up full, there's gonna be glares.
And then Velcro was in at one point. Everything had to be Velcroed onto your board so you could pull it out and bring it closer to the judge.
Blackboard and then black and red with all the posters. It seems to give a good contrast along with the big white. So rather than a lighter color, if you have a really dark color, a really light color, and something in between, it makes everything pop out more. And the black also goes with the black letters.
On deadlines, I'm awful. I wait until like probably the deadline to start working. I mean, I did with this project. I was doing stuff at the hotel. But you know, it all worked out. So it's not like it's a problem. Did I talk about colleges? What I'm doing with college? So I applied to a bunch of colleges, like probably like 10 or 12, right? I get rejected from every single one, right? I thought that hopefully, you know, since I was at the International Science Fair and stuff, that they'd let me in. As for now, it's kind of uncertain about, you know, what's gonna happen. So I don't know.
Will you explain your project to me? Because I was looking at it yesterday and it actually looks so cool.
Once you set up your project, you have to do the obligatory walk where you like scope out the competition.
We're talking about a car seat here. Here we're talking about like a GPS-related device.
The name of my project is the effect of abscisic acid on simulated angiogenesis in vitro.
The development of an intelligent and dexterous robotic arm. Based on their board, you see how much jargon you don't understand, and if you don't understand any of it, that means that they have a heavyweight board.
A new method of synthesis of 1,1-fluoronitrile by radical substitution in fluorobromostyrene. Can I explain?
My category, embedded systems, is really good. If you looked around in this vicinity, you would see some top-notch, like industry-level, commercial-level devices. The competition looks very difficult. It looks almost impossible.
These three following Cauchy-Huxley equations, I wrote the code for them.
You gotta be confident, John. When you're calm and slow, it's clear and it makes complete sense.
Last year, something pretty bad happened during judging. My first Grand Award judge came and my vision was starting to get a little blurry, and then I fainted right afterwards. It was really sudden, and it was like, this is like the worst time to have this happen. I hope it doesn't happen again.
In our research, we're able to model and synthesize a new molecule that is able to inhibit the NS1 protein.
We believe
Viva work could be of great importance to the pharmaceutical area, because with our Meu Deus, eu tô me esquecendo, vou ter que fazer de novo.
Então é um desafio enorme sair do Brasil e vir aqui apresentar em outro idioma totalmente diferente do nosso.
Expanding upon my last year's project, I decided to explore new options to accelerate nerve tissue regeneration. So the novelty of my project lies in the synergistic combination of a neurotrophin functionalization and an external magnetic field to stimulate neurogenesis.
Cure.
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 Só como se fosse o Q, o I, O, R, não tem um U. Você tá falando cure.
Eu tô falando cure. Cure.
Não, não é cure, não. É cure.
Ah, pera, deixa eu pegar aqui tem uma palavra séria que eu não tô conseguindo, não.
The exhibit hall is now closed to finalists. Everyone must exit the hall. Thank you.
Tomorrow's presentation day, so I'm going to iron the shirts so they're extra crisp for presentation and the judges. I do it for Ryan and Abraham too, because they're my bros.
Tomorrow we're waking up at 6:45. We have judging starting at around 8, I think. Of course, like, we're trying to win, and I really feel confident in our project to win.
Okay, so when you get to your stations, they're gonna leave cards for you with judges' names and times. So that's the time frame that the judges are gonna come to your station.
Don't stay up until 1 a.m.
Studying, it's
tonight.
a bad idea. It's too late. Like, at this point, you should just
You
relax.
need to be, and it's gonna be such a long day tomorrow.
It is.
Do you guys have any sleeping masks by any chance?
What? Like an eyebrow? Did they?
She said I don't think so.
I came up here and touched her forehead. It was absolutely just flaming hot. Her face was completely flushed, eyes bloodshot.
It's taken a while. Put it in properly.
It is.
Okay, now it's...
You know, not good.
Olá, galera. Estamos indo para o centro de convenções hoje. Hoje é o dia da avaliação dos projetos presencial e eu estou um pouco nervoso, mas eu acho que eu estou preparado. Eu passei 3 meses me preparando para esse momento, então vamos lá.
Doris, you nervous? A little bit? I guess a little bit of nerves is good for you, too.
Today's like the judging day. So we're gonna get judged for what, like 6 hours today? I don't know. I'm afraid they're gonna ask me a bunch of questions I'm not ready for. You know, I mean, I haven't really practiced my presentation that much, but I'm hoping that, you know, I'll just be able to talk about it because, you know, I've been thinking about it a lot recently.
Finalists only at this point in time. Stop. I need to see your badge. That's all I ask. Only finalists.
I'm feeling a little nervous, but I'm also really excited, you know, to talk to all the judges about my project that I worked so hard on. So, yeah, it's mixed emotions, kind of.
I just hope that she doesn't get sick or something like that, because last time she fainted.
Don't pray, you got it. Well, you can pray, but you got it. In the baggies, we had lip gloss and chapstick because they talk a lot, hair ties for the girls,
and a little note to keep them encouraged. I'm expecting excellence, so let's go. I can't go in. See you later. Good skill, Lovey. Thank you. I know you're gonna be fine. Congratulations to all of you.
Eu fiquei um pouquinho preocupada. Então nós tivemos um pequeno problema com o nosso tradutor, porque quem era para ser nosso tradutor não veio, não chegou até agora. É outro desafio, mais um desafio pra gente, né?
I'm just not all the way here right now. I'm kind of congested. I threw up a little bit. I had a fever. I'm kind of worried about how I'm gonna decline. This is just terrible timing.
When like the door closes and it's just you and the judges, there's always this like tense moment of silence and anxiety because you know the judges are there. So now you have to be on like your best behavior, but you don't really know like where they're coming from. It's like kind of like how you imagine like the actors in The Predator felt when they're like getting hunted. It's always like really tense and anxious in those first few moments.
They get some of the best judges from Caltech and Berkeley and Stanford to come and judge. So these judges, of course, are the best in their fields. So it makes me apprehensive about whether or not my students will be successful, but if they do their job, we'll win. I'm not doubting it.
Students work all year on a project, and you have 10 minutes to make somebody believe that the work that you have done for 6 months or 8 months or a year is so valuable that it should now win an award.
There's this vibration of people who are trying to think and formulate some sort of coherent thoughts because they're so anxious. It's as if only you and your board, that's all that counts for the next 8 hours. Now, you have to shine.
Sometimes they'll stop and they'll like look at your project for a while. They'll just like stop, but you don't know what's going on. It's like you're like some like zoo exhibition, and you it's so just like ambiguous and it's very tense.
The reality is that not everybody's gonna win. And honestly, they all think they are gonna win, and that's the harder part. The kids, and they expect to get something from all of the work they put in.
It's a long day, yeah. I'm tired. 15 more minutes, and it will be done for a year.
You get ready to come out.
Foi uma avaliação maravilhosa.
Então foi só meio que um medo, que nós pensamos que não tinha um tradutor, mas quando chegou lá ele estava lá.
How was it? What happened?
It was fun. It was fun.
Okay, it was fun.
No, it wasn't.
At least I didn't faint, so that's the only thing I was trying to avoid, and it went really well.
I think it went pretty great. I got interviewed by a bunch of people, like extra people, so apparently that's a good thing.
I got my 7 assigned judges, and then I also got 5 extra judges. So
The first couple of judges were kind of rusty. I wasn't really able to gauge how they felt, but then as we went along, judges really started to enjoy our presentation.
This one dude kind of wrecked us a little bit.
Just like kind of.
He actually engineers stethoscopes, but he like pointed out a flaw in
some of the methodology.
Yeah,
I had some that were just not really interested, but I think that they might do that just to mess with you, you know? I don't know. We'll find out.
Right now, I just have a really bad headache and like body ache, and yeah, it's okay though. Like I'm living, I'm alive, I'm breathing.
When you get out of judging, it's kind of this mix of exhaustion, like you're like, oh my gosh, I just talked for like 8 to 12 hours. Everyone's trying to like predict who's going to win it all, and it's always like this futile exercise because no one knows who's going to win. All I remember was incredible anxiety and like anxiousness of like, oh my God, did I win anything or not? This is like my one shot at like fulfilling this childhood dream.
Here today to recognize the grand award winners of the Intel ISEF 2017. Finalists are judged on their creative ability, scientific thought, thoroughness, skill, and the clarity shown in their projects. Now, the time has come. Let's get started.
Going into awards, it's like almost like horrifying. Like you don't know like what's gonna happen. Like if you're really hoping to win, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You feel so uncertain, and you know that like, 5 minutes from now you're gonna know, and you're either gonna be up on stage having a great time, or you're still gonna be in your seat and you haven't won anything. So it's just really like decisive.
Doing well in science fair is a huge help for the track to getting into a phenomenal school. I don't know a single student who is in this world who doesn't want to go to a good school. So there's a lot of nerves at that moment.
You're just so worked up. It's been so much work to get there. So it's just like, okay, now just tell me.
We begin with 4th place in the life science categories. The 4th place award winners in animal sciences are from Lampang, Thailand. The 2nd place award winners in mathematics are. The 4th place award winners in plant sciences are from Lady Lake, Florida, from Manila, Philippines, from Sacramento, California.
Everybody's like cheering when people go up. Like it's always really fun to see how all the countries react when one of their people wins. It's just so exciting, and there's like such like a mix of feelings. But I mean, if you're there just to win the prize and that's it, you're missing the point of science fair.
The outcome, sometimes it's what you would have wanted and sometimes it's not, but the outcome is almost immaterial in all of this. The most important thing is that it is a first experience for many students interacting with other people with similar interests to yours and being viewed by professional scientists as a colleague rather than a student.
It's training them to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and really defend what they think is right and true, even if they don't win anything.
I guess I'm really not sure what it was that motivated him.
I mean, motivation is a very mysterious thing in a lot of ways. I mean, who has it and who doesn't, and why it is the way it is.
My parents, they both had very humble beginnings. Both of them are from Bangladesh. My dad grew up in a village, but he ended up, working really hard in school and coming to North America, and he became a college professor. Knowing how much they struggled in the name of education makes me feel like education is very valuable, and they've also been like huge supports in my life to do the best and become successful.
A ciência, ela está sendo a parte mais importante da minha vida, porque foi a ciência que mudou toda a minha trajetória. E a ciência, ela está me proporcionando coisas que eu nunca imaginei viver nessa vida.
Germany has no natural resources. We are a knowledge society, so the future of our economy completely depends on everything we do with our brains and heads. As a consequence, we need to find all the talents we have. We cannot afford to lose a single one.
It seems like in this country we've kind of lost our way. It's almost like we're anti-science in this country now.
It would be great if the country as a whole recognizes and rewards people going into science and engineering, because they're laying the foundations for our future.
We don't have our value system in the right place. And this country will fail if we give up on our scientists. Science fair is our way of saying we appreciate your effort. This is our way of showing these kids that what they're doing is important. These kids are going to change the world because they are the best and the brightest.
The first place award winner in energy chemical is, from Jericho, New York, Kendra Zane.
Thank you, ma'am.
Go on up back to your seat.
All right.
The first place award winner in behavioral and social sciences is, from Brookings, South Dakota, Kashvia Raman.
How do you feel? Really, really good.
Can you believe it?
No, I wasn't even expecting 4th place, so this is it's really shocking to me. Science fair has really brought to light like a kind of hidden part of my personality, because I usually come off as being really shy and quiet, which I am, but it's really helped me with opening up to people and just becoming more confident in sharing my ideas.
I was crying, and my hands and everything was, shaking.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. It is my pleasure to announce the recipients of the Gordon E. Moore Award. This award recognizes the best of the best among the outstanding students from around the world who participate in the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair. The winner is selected on the basis of their outstanding and innovative research, as well as on the potential impact of their work in their field and on the world at large. And now, the winner of the $75,000 Gordon E. Moore Award in the category of Engineering Mechanics, from Luke, Germany, Ivo Zepp.
They said engine mechanics, and then it was more or less clear that I have won the prize, and then it was just awesome.
Als der Ivo dann den ersten Platz da gemacht hat, da haben wir natürlich mal ganz laut Hurra und Juhu gerufen.
Where's John?
He's back there somewhere.
None of us would be here without her. She's like a mom to us. We call her our research mom.
Okay. Georgia Kelly, you should be in it.
Where are you? Are you in a classroom?
Dude, I'm at Super Smash Bros. Club right now.
Nice.
Horatio Alger stayed in this room while he was at Harvard.
Who's that guy?
I'm a writer. It's so pretentious. They gave us a list of everyone who stayed in the room. Dr. Oz has also stayed in this room.
About a dozen high school girls are here at the University of Louisville's iHub to learn how to code, but their instructor isn't much older than they are.
They're learning web development and web design skills. Women business owners and minority business owners need to be better equipped with technology skills.
Now that I'm in Silicon Valley, a lot of people don't need to go to college, which is, totally the opposite of what, I've been told my whole life, which is you have to go to college, you have to get a degree, otherwise you're gonna be working at like McDonald's for the rest of your life, flipping burgers for 80 years. I'm looking into taking like night classes at Stanford. There's this one class that I saw that I really, really wanted to take. It's called The Philosophy of Artificial Intelligence. I mean, it was just like when I saw it, like, this, I gotta take this class, it's like the perfect class.
Ivo is now really a VIP. He is traveling around. It is quite hard to get a hold of him on the phone. I'm quite sure many, many doors will be open.
I like Fetty, I like Lou, I like Henny, I like Goose, I like lettuce, I like Boof, inside jelly, outside juice. I like Fetty, I like Lou, I like Henny, I like Goose, I like lettuce, I like Boof, inside jelly, outside juice. I like Fetty, I like Lou, I like Henny, I like Goose, I like lettuce, I like Boof, inside jelly, outside juice. I like Fetty, I like Lou, I like Henny, I like Goose, I like lettuce, I like Boof, inside jelly, outside juice. I like Betty, I like Boo, I like Chevys, I like Coops, I like Cheddar, I like Shoes, I like Fendi, I like Trues, I like Betty, I like Brew, I like Kelly, I like Sue, they act petty, I'm like cool, pull up steady, Malibu, paint wet like Mountain Dew, yeah I flash, yeah I do, I like Polo on my boots, I like Rollers, I like Juice, I like Momo, I like Goose, I like Redmond, 80 proof. Send it rabbit, you can't have it. I got carrots in my tooth. I might pull up to the stoop. I might pull up with your boo. I might pull up in that thing, same color, apple juice. I like Fetty.